Alright, welcome back to Euphoric Consciousness, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well today. We are here on Jupiter Beach. It's somewhat of a cloudy day, but we're going to get some interviews in asking strangers how to overcome fear. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get into it. What's your name?
Paul.
Paul, nice to meet you, Paul. The question for you today is, how has fear held you back in life? And what would you say to people on how you can overcome that fear in life?
I think fear has held me back in life when it comes to anxiety. I've had a lot of anxiety issues in my life, and I think the best way to overcome fear is to embrace it.
Yeah.
Everything comes from somewhere, even if it's something that you don't know what it is or where it's coming from. And I think it's not about finding the issue or finding the fear that's actually going to fix it. It's going to take time. Some with anxiety-wise, I mean.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a fear of heights, sometimes it's better just face it, and it's
go for it.
faster to go past it. But you know,
Right.
I know with anxiety and mental health,
Exactly.
fear is something that could take years to get over. It's not that simple.
Well, I appreciate, this thing I'm doing right now, it's actually kind of makes me fearful. So it's like the best way for me to get over it is just by going and asking people, how have you overcome fear? And that helps me just like get not being afraid of like camera shy and stuff like that. So you really just have to confront your fear before it's to like go away, basically. So
Yeah, I think for fear too, it's like there is always gonna be fear, but it's how you react to it that changes everything.
Take notes, y'all. Seriously though, I mean, you got good points.
Yeah, you know, I mean, nobody that's successful in life hasn't been afraid that it wasn't gonna work.
Right.
And you take risks every day, and that's how you move forward.
Right. It is. We're here with Chris. Chris, thank you for having this interview with me.
No problem.
The question is, what is fear to you, and how has fear held you back in life? And what can you say to people to overcome that fear?
So for me, I'd say that fear has always been, like for everybody, an obstacle. But to me specifically, I've always seen fear as something of which is a mental barrier, and not necessarily something of which is there for a productive reason besides to overcome it. So once an individual is able to go past that mental barrier that usually will not lead to danger, you can just be a lot better. Personally, I know that I've overcome this a lot through athletics, working out, and because through those things you're pushing your body to your absolute limits and you're scared about what it's going to do. And so, you're scared that your body's going to give out at times, and if you just trust yourself and you're like, I want to exceed my limits and I'm just going to be fearless right now, you can just do some great things.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
For the interview.
No problem.
It was nice meeting you, and you have a good rest of your day, and make sure you just keep tackling that fear in your life, because like we were talking about, it's the only way to succeed in life is pushing through that fear and pushing through your boundaries. And you seem like you got your head on your shoulders, so thank you, and your life has so
Thank you. You as well.
cheers to you, man. I'm Christian. We're here with Lakshmi.
What's your name?
I'm Christian.
Christian. Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice
yeah.
to meet you.
Okay.
So how has fear hold you back in life, and what does fear mean to you, and what is some ways you can encourage people just to get past those fears?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to fear in life. Basically, life presents opportunities, and you take it with an open mind.
Right.
And when you fear something, basically you are creating an imaginary phantom, which becomes much more fearsome than fear actually.
Grows and grows and grows
Yeah,
and grows.
yeah. So yeah. If you keep an open mind, and if you ask what can happen, right? If I do this, and what can happen if I don't, then I think it becomes easier
Right.
to take up the challenge. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very much.
You're welcome.
You have a good rest of your day. All right. Thank you. Who are you here with today?
I'm Jake Sullivan.
Jake Sullivan. Nice to meet you. I'm Christian. So the question for today is, how do you overcome fear?
I dive in head first. I don't think I have time to waste. I'm here to make other people better and make myself better. So the more I wait on that, the less honest I'm being with myself, the less honest I'm being with my fears. So dive into those fears so you can be honest with them.
What's been the hardest lesson for you to learn in terms of fear, and how did that allow yourself to grow?
So for me, it's taking action was the thing I was most fearful of. Doing the deep work, doing the shit that wasn't superficial, the things that are probably the hardest for you to motivate yourself to do, those are the things that I started making myself do on a day-to-day basis. I don't love everything that I do because it's fucking hard sometimes, but if you fucking dive in, you go head first, and you tackle the hard things first, everything else after that, it's just yeah, exactly. It's a constant process that just builds and builds. So,
last question: what's one tip you can give to somebody to overcome their fear? Just like the biggest thing that you would just recommend.
I think it's really easy today to shy away from listening to yourself and trusting your own intuition. There's an abundance of information bombarding you at all times. You need to listen to yourself at the end of the day. You need to be honest and hold yourself accountable. If you know you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing and trying to find excuses to make those behaviors and decisions okay, then you're never going to make progress. You're just going to be treading water. Right. So cut out the fat, eliminate the things that you know aren't good for you, even though they might be the hardest things to give up, and that's where you can start making progress.
It's discipline right there, you hear it?
Discipline. It's not discipline, bro. It happens for itself when you take action and you move the needle properly. Right. Yes, sir.
I like the words, man. Thank you very much. All right, we're here with Juan, nice to meet you. The question for today is, how do you overcome fear?
Fear. I try to visualize my objectives, my goals, and if there's anything that comes in the way, just focus on the end.
And another question: what was the biggest lesson you learned of fear, and what can you offer advice for people in that story of yours?
Well, the biggest lesson would be that maybe if you put things in perspective, and if you trust in yourself enough, you could be able to do anything you want to.
Just have complete and utter trust in yourself, and everything else will follow, basically. Awesome. Thank you, Juan.
Right.
You have a good day, man.
Bye.
Peace out, guys. All right, we're here with
Sarah Gardner.
Sarah Gardner, nice to meet you. So the question for today is, how do you overcome fear, and what advice can you offer people in that facing of a fear?
I think the biggest thing of overcoming fear is not to be scared of it. I think, like, I ran track in college, and I felt fear every day that I had to compete, and I think it's just like internalizing it and knowing that's only going to make you stronger as a person. And I kind of look for fear, I think, because I think
it's the same for me too. It's like at this point, like, I almost enjoy fear. Like, fear is just a teacher in my mind. So it's like, if you can confront fear and allow that to teach you, then next time you're met with fear, it's so much easier to overcome that obstacle. So do you have a short story in your track years of when you had a certain moment that you were like, okay, I need to overcome this, and what did you tell yourself in that moment or something?
Yeah, no, I made it to nationals for the hurdles, and thank you. And I was like the bottom of the barrel compared to everyone else, and I was so terrified. But I just told myself, like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and no matter how I do in the situation, it's only going to make me better as a person. And I mean, I remember that day every day because it was like the coolest moment. I didn't do great, but like
you overcame your fear. Yeah, it made you stronger. So one last question is, what's one piece of advice or just one tactic in any moment that you use to overcome fear, just for anyone who might find some value in it?
Yeah, I know it may sound silly, but breathe. Just like, I always take like a huge big breath if I'm going into a moment of large fear, and it instantly relaxes you.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. All right, we're here with
Alyssa. Julia.
Okay, the question for you guys is, how have you overcome fear, and what advice do you guys have for people who are fearful in any situation?
I would say that you just have to keep going for it. You have to keep, and whatever you're trying to attain, just keep trying, and eventually it'll get easier.
Yeah, I would just say try and face your fear head on. I feel like that's the only way to truly get over it, is to just try and overcome it and face it.
Is there any tips you guys, maybe like breathing in the situation, if you take deep breaths when you guys are fearful or scared or nervous, or any tip that might help someone who's in a similar situation?
Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Yeah, I agree.
Deep breaths it is. You know, that it works wonders, guys.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys. You have a great day. So, I didn't get the best turnout, but I think the message is still quite clear from yesterday's shorts and today's interviews with a few people that I had, that fear is really just like a teacher for you, and it's a valuable lesson for yourself to confront the things that really do scare you, and you have so much potential and possibility to become such a more abundant and just a strong, independent person that can go out into the world and inspire other people and really just create like a conscious ripple of positivity and love and joy, and whatever the case might be for Jake. Like, he was able to overcome an injury, and now he's completely dialed into his body and he's fully functional, and through that he's now going to be helping other people. So there are so many possibilities of what you can do and what you can become through facing your fears, and I want you guys to understand that the only way to overcome these fears or obstacles or whatever you want to call it is really facing it head on. And as scary and frightful as that might be, do you want to experience the things that you want to experience? For example, if you're afraid of skydiving, the only way you can overcome that fear is by jumping out of a plane and overcoming that fear. What if it's bungee jumping? If you're afraid of bungee jumping, then you have to go and do bungee jumping on your own. And through that, you'll overcome that fear of heights and trusting into a stretchy cord, man. Or horseback riding. If you're scared of falling off the horse or getting hit with a hoof or whatever dangers come from horseback sports, you have to just confront that fear. And you have to allow yourself the gift and the opportunity to face that fear, because you have a fully functional body to actually have the privilege to overcome that fear. Because a lot of people don't have a fully functional body, and they don't have the mindset where they can heal themselves to face their fears, and some people don't even have the abilities to heal their bodies in that case. And one story that I think is really remarkable is Joe Dispenza. He got in a car accident and basically was paralyzed, and he heard stories about people healing themselves from cancer and illnesses like that. So if he said if they can do it, then I can do it. And he had to face that fear of becoming paralyzed for the rest of his life, and that's like suffocating. But the truth is, he's a fully functional person now. He can walk, he can lift weights, he works out, he does all these extraordinary things because he faced his fear. So in these interviews, these are everyday people just like you guys. And through these videos, I want to inspire you guys that we're all the same. We all have fears, we all have ailments, we all have whatever the case might be of holding us back. We all have the same things, guys. And the only way we're going to overcome those fears is by facing it head on and taking deep breaths before running a track sprint or whatever. I don't know what they're called, or 100 meter or 200 meter or long jumps and stuff like that. Is do the things that you need to do to put yourself in a position where you can fulfill that. So a few tips that I will suggest for overcoming fear is obviously facing it head on. Number 2, I believe it was Saros, taking deep breaths. Really just taking a deep, long, conscious breath. Not just taking just slow and controlled. Close your eyes and focus on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and I promise you, simple techniques like that are going to grant you so much more than you ever possibly could have imagined. And also just grounding yourself in nature before you have some event that's scary, like parachuting, bungee jumping cord, is just go in nature, take your socks off, ground yourself with the earth. And I mean, it's scientifically proven now that the earth will take away electronic charges in your body that are holding negative energy. So allowing yourself the freedom and the privilege again, because it is a gift that you have that in your life, to take away the negative neurons, to become more relaxed and more calm. That's a gift, and it works wonders. And for myself specifically, I mean, taking this trip down here was extremely scary for me, but I knew the only way to overcome this fear of being alone, having a thirsty car that takes a lot of money, was to overcome it and trust in the process that everything that I desire, want to be, will come to fruition, and that I will be able to pay for gas in full. I will have a fully functional car. I will be able to have a place to sleep. I will have food in my belly. I will have a shower. And all this worry that we do with fear, it's just noise. Like, guesstimates from the short that I had the other day was, fear is simply just an illusion. It's a phantom within your mind. And the more you feed that fear, the worse it becomes and the more disabled you are. So fear is a choice. Fear is only something that you give conscious energy and thought to. And I just encourage you guys to come to terms with that. Like, taking responsibility for the fear that you have in your life is the only way you can confront those fears and overcome those fears. And that is such a valuable thing that we have and an opportunity to have. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon for exclusive podcasts that will be posted, exclusive content. Any support would be highly, highly appreciated. That's all going to go towards better content, better camera. Hopefully one day I'll have someone who can actually record videos for me, and I can actually just interview people. That would be really, really cool. So yeah, guys, I really, really appreciate you taking time for watching, and everyone who did the interview, thank you so much for coming out and helping and supporting the vision. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, as a fellow YouTuber Jesse James West says, stay relentless and push out those fears, and everything you want and desire will come to fruition. All right, much love, guys. Peace out.